Village houses in India are a great delight to paint. They are very simple with just four walls and a slopey roof on the top. The roof is made up of mud tiles or shingles and they are perfectly adjusted side by side to make a wonderful design. Our objective is to paint a very artistic looking house, and so we are not going to make architectural details about the house, but make a rather impressionistic feel of the house. To begin with, we will make a very rough sketch or an outline drawing of the house, starting with a parallelogram and below which you can make a rectangle. And if you mark, I am drawing very loosely for the simple reason that if I use a foot rule accuracy, the drawing may look a little odd. And we are not interested in any kind of an architectural detail. So I have made the house in a very simple way. And to begin painting, I make use of a small flat brush, dip it in water, and pick up some amount of orange. Now, although the roof is purely brown in color, we will make a mix of various colors and allow them to just touch the surface and mix or bleed into one another. So I put in some orange, then I put in some red, and I put some burnt sienna, especially in the lower areas and somewhat in the middle areas as well. And I deposit tiny lumps of color haphazardly. Now, to indicate a little bit of red here and there. Now, to make the edge of the other side of the roof, I just hold the brush a little perpendicular and touch the brush several times to show the other side of the roof. I wash the brush, dry it, take clean water onto the brush, and just put it all over here and there so as to make a nice looking colorful rooftop, and allow this to dry. Meanwhile, I pick up some Naples yellow and add the Naples yellow on this wall. Remember, the walls of these houses are ill kept and they often appear broken. The walls may rarely be colored. Occasionally they look yellowish, sometimes blue, and many a times white. But the whites are always muddy whites and they appear very textured. Luckily, acrylic paints dry fast and they produce a nice texture over wherever you desire. So I've applied Naples yellow all over on one side, and I dip the same brush into white and produce a lighter tone of the same color. This color works like the area of the house facing light. We presume light striking the house from the top right side, and we paint the area or the wall of the house which directly faces sun. These little blobs of paint obtained by dabbing the brush all over creates a very nice feel of broken wall. Now we allow this to completely dry for a few minutes. Once touch dry, I mix a little hint of black into burnt sienna or brown, and I apply the color on the underside of the other side of the roof. See the way I handle the brush. I just touch the brush on its sides and I fill up the area rather loosely. Then I pick up some similar color and with a very fine brush, well pointed thin brush, maybe 3 number, I draw some of these sticks and bamboos which often jut out of the sides of the house. One over here, another here, one more, and another, and another, and similarly on the other side. Often you may find a broken kind of a stick jutting out and hanging over the rest. Maybe 1 or 2 such bamboo sticks may also be shown on the sides, because after all there is a skeletal structure underneath the roof, a skeletal structure of these sticks. Then I drag the brush a little horizontal and make some diagonal marks to show the absolute rooftop. I make use of the same dark mixture, make it a little thinner on the same pointed brush and drag a few lines and make some dots and dashes to indicate the shingles or the tiles over the roof. Since our objective is to make an artistic looking village house, we are not going to draw those tiles as they exactly appear to us. Instead, we suggest their presence by such dots and dashes spread out all over the roof in a little haphazard way. Using the same mixture, I make, maybe in the middle of the house, I make a reverse L shape. This is to show the frame of the door. I dip the same brush in water and loosen out the paint, making it quite watery, and I add that watery tone all over this area to make the door. Remember, acrylics can be used both opaque as well as transparent. So I've made use of the transparent properties of acrylics and painted the door and allow it to dry. Meanwhile, I can pick up some black and burnt sienna mixed together and make a window by dragging 2 or 3 lines and covering the top. This makes for some artistic window. Use the same brush to touch it to the top, somewhere on the right side, to make a ventilator. Now, very many times you may find windows on the side walls which have a flap. Now, to make this, I first make a tilted L. And I add a few accents resembling the digit 7. If I do this, this looks like a flap, and we get a sense of completion of the window after we fill the sides. In this manner. So there you have shown a window and its flap. Now, having done this, I put the same brush in water, and as before, I create a little watery mixture, and I apply that watery mixture here to indicate the shadow cast by the roof and the stumps. I use the same darker mixture and go back to the door, indicating a tiny separation and a few of these horizontal bars which make for the artistic looking door of the village home. I'll take a cut brush, a brush which is with the tip of which has been chopped off, and I dip it in the sap green and a little yellow, and indicate some foliage at the foot of the house. The cut brush releases color in a manner which appears dotted, creating a nice looking foliage. I pick up some burnt sienna and black and just add a step or two at the entrance of the house. Of course, these are not steps really, they are just stones placed. And finally, this visitor. Color spot seems to be spoiling my sky, and so I convert it into a nice little bird, and maybe a bird or two on this side. So this is how you can paint a village house in India. So thank you very much, and if you have liked this video, please press the like button, share it with your friends and groups, and please subscribe to this channel. Thank you once again.